for jobs and freedom. The event's grand finale was King's famous "I Have a Dream" speech. 250,000 people gathered outside the Lincoln Memorial to hear the stirring speech. In 1964, the civil rights movement achieved two of its greatest successes: the ratification of the 24th Amendment, which abolished the poll tax, and the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which prohibited racial discrimination in employment and education and outlawed racial segregation in public facilities. In the same year, King became the youngest person to win a Nobel Peace Prize. In the late 1960s, King openly criticized U.S. involvement in Vietnam and turned his efforts to winning economic rights for poor Americans. He was a leader of the American Civil Rights Movement and organized a number of peaceful protests as head of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, including the March on Washington in 1963. He was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee on April 4th, 1968.
There is always more to a story than the screaming headline. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore them.
Hello and thank you and welcome to the Tuesday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Today on the program, Governor Ibanji orders security agencies to fish out killers of two traditional rulers in Ekiti State. And later on the show, Kano State Governor denies signing any agreement with President Tinubu over Supreme Court victory. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitojo and Chris Kendi Wadu. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Okay, let's begin with the troubling news from Ekiti State, southwest Nigeria. The state governor, Abiodun Oyebanji, has ordered security agencies in the state to fish out the killers of two traditional rulers in Ikole, local government area of the state. Governor Oyebanji, who condemned the dastardly act, assured the people of the state that the state government will spend nothing to get to the roots of the matter. Today, quite worrisome. Two traditional rulers coming from official engagement.
It's something to be really concerned about. There is an escalation in security breaches in our country. We are approaching a very dangerous phase in the war against banditry in our country. Even the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, it's like they are back now.
Yeah.
On that road.
The PDP chairman of Lagos State has just been released.
And
was abducted in that way.
In the Barakpa area, the Sheyin area of your state, it's like they are back too. So governors and security operatives must realize that things are degenerating. They must realize that things are degenerating and they have to sit up. I'm impressed with the level of security in Ondo State. I'm always ready to talk about what Amotekun has done in Ondo State. And I can tell you, if not even for the efforts of Amotekun, maybe these people will have overrun the Southwest, because Ondo is the gateway to the Southwest from the North. So they are trying to come into the Southwest. Remember the killings in Owo, carried out by some elements of Boko Haram, because Boko Haram's factions are disparate. They are spread across the north. The Ansaru faction of Boko Haram operates from the Kogi area, the border with the FCT, and they are also coming into some parts of the southwest, especially Ondo and Ekiti. So we've got to sit up. The kidnap of children, school children in Ekiti State, allied with the killing of these traditional rulers, is something that we should be bothered about. Remember the killing of a first-class ruler from your local government that time, the former director at JAMB, you know, Olufon, yes, in 2020. It really caused so much uproar. But today, we responded well, but it's like we are relaxing again. The Southwest is the safest geopolitical zone in our country. That is the only zone that the Americans, when they are sending out travel advisory, they don't mention. But if things continue in this manner, they will start telling their people to be careful of the Southwest, and even investment coming into the Southwest will stop. So these governors have to sit up. They don't have to simply direct people. You have to be seen to be doing your best to curtail this situation. It has to stop. They can't be killing our people like this. Abuja, the Northwest, security is degenerating, and I'm wondering what is going on. What's going on? Does it have something to do with worsening poverty in our land?
Wow.
What is the job of the security agencies if they can't stop these guys in their tracks? We have to invest in technology, whatever it takes to deal decisively with these bandits who imagine that they are even bigger than the state. We have to do it. Not for our leaders to be lamenting. You have to take decisive steps. Show that you are in charge.
Banditry and kidnapping is like a big industry thriving now. And we can't even take stock of the number of people involved in this. It's like an alternative employment for these people.
Yes, it is. Two of the national newspapers today came out with some figures on what they adduced as to the number of people that have been kidnapped and killed in the past few months. After going through those figures, I didn't believe it. I don't believe it, because those are those reported incidents. And I can tell you, for every one that was reported, you can rest assured that about 5, 6, or even 9 were not reported. Don't forget that most often than not, when these people are kidnapped, the first thing the kidnappers tell you is that do not report to the police. Do not call the police. Don't call security agents, or else we'll kill your family members. Just go and pay the ransom. And that is it. So those figures is not the right figure. And just as Jide said, it is happening across Nigeria now. It is not just, before we were talking about the Southeast. The Southeast is even a bit much more calmer than what is happening in the Southwest. We talk about, even in Lagos. In Lagos, kidnapping is going on. From information reaching us, Okota area, those Okota area,
Yes, I was told.
Yes, within the Okota, Agopa last way, Okota area, towards Pestac, and a lot of kidnapping is going on a daily basis in Lagos. It's not being reported. Then you are talking of the we are talking of the others. Jide mentioned some nursery school students were kidnapped at Emure in Ekiti. Just this morning, or was it yesterday? Emure, yes, yesterday. They were going to school, and they had, till now, those children have not been seen. Both the children, nursery school children, both the children and their teachers. And you ask yourself, what is happening? In Abuja, a family of about 6 girls were kidnapped. When they couldn't, the family couldn't pay the ransom, they killed one of the girls until ransom was allegedly paid, and they were released. And it has been the same thing across board. And you continue to ask yourself, and when you hear a statement like this, we are getting to the root of the matter to bring back, and you ask yourself, getting root to the matter. We're getting root to the matter, bring back these 2 dead Obas that were killed. We should be more proactive. What we have been saying in the few days is that we're always reacting. How do we prevent this from happening? Rather than just talking about we're going to catch the perpetrators, we're going to deal with them. And I'm getting a bit worried, AY and Jide. It might sound like a false alarm and the rest of them. But the question I'm starting to ask myself is that, could there be a political motivation towards this? As hope we've not taken our eyes off the ball, because when you look at it, if you remember what happened in 2015, during the government of Goodluck Jonathan, And you saw the arrays of kidnapping. What happened in Chibok, those students at the Chibok, Dapchi,
Boko Haram.
Boko Haram was the and they were targeting soft spots. Children, the less privileged, as may say it, and rest of. And this is just what, this is a government, this government is just less than 8 months. And there is an upsurge. Is it that some people are trying to make some statement or what? So this is why we call on the security agencies, especially the police. The police has the primary responsibility, as given by the 1999 Constitution, as amended for internal security. It is that of the police, it's not for army. It's not that of Navy. It's not that of Air Force. Their own primary responsibility is against external aggression. Now we are bringing them into the midst. And finally, as I speak on this, we also have to also invest in intelligence. Jide, all over the world, intelligence matters a lot to security agencies. When you have a trust deficit between the security agencies and the citizens, it becomes a problem. You know, I said here, was it last time I said, Ayo, when you are in UK, and we talked about it that day, and you see one 80-year-old man sitting by the window and looking at just
everything.
That woman,
your height, everything.
She will give a complete description of it. In fact, while you are there, you just within the next 2 minutes, you just see police will just appear. You don't know who told them. You will know that it was that 80-year-old woman, very old woman.
I told the story of how my mom, when she was schooling in Ohio, you know, how she and her fellow Nigerians who went to buy ram, they brought it into the house. Yeah. Their plan was to slaughter it in the yard and then eat. Immediately they entered the house, the landlord came and said, see, within minutes, police will be here. Because when you buy this, you are supposed to kill it at the abattoir. You are not supposed to kill any animal within the 4 walls of your house. So once they realized that, okay, that was what happened, they quickly brought salt, poured in the mouth of the animal. You know, once you pour, it won't be able to bleed. They poured it and then locked them in the toilet. So when within minutes, policemen arrived at their door.
Appeared?
Yes. So we heard that you brought this sort of thing here, and they were on scholarship. You know, they now say, yes, we were told. You know, that the cops too are very believing. They said we were told that it was wrong, and we immediately took them back. That was the lie that they told the police. So they believed them. They went back immediately. They put so the landlord told them that, look, they will come. Because the landlord was sure that somebody who has sent them has that information. That's the way their society works.
That is intel.
And within minutes of the landlord leaving the place, those policemen.
That's intel.
We need, if we don't trust the police, people won't give information, because police will sometimes go and tell the criminal that this is the person who provided the information, and the criminal will come for you. So if you can't build that trust, they won't feel free to give you information. And I believe that surveillance through the use of drones and other devices will help us monitor our forests and all that. But we have a system that says that even state governments cannot buy drones unless they have clearance from the office of the NSA. What kind of arrangement is that? Why? People should be able to fly their drones, monitor their forests, and keep their people secure. Some of these provisions in our law, they have to be dispensed with because it's not helping anybody. It's not helping anybody.
All right, moving on. Now, the political atmosphere in River State is getting calm, but trouble might be lurking somewhere. As such, Governor Siminalayi Fubara has urged the new Chief of Staff, Etin Eyi, and other appointed officials against using their position to antagonize anyone in their areas. Governor Fubara urged them to set aside partisanship and continue to contribute to the growth of the states. All 6 appointed officials were active supporters of Governor Fubara. in the wake of the political crisis that rocked the state. Gentlemen, again, Governor Fubara is becoming his own man and is getting his own guys, you know. So for you to, from the acting speaker, from that speaker, former speaker now, to his chief of staff now, and all the people he appointed now, they are his own men. So be able to fortify his political, watch his back and everything. It's like building his own structure.
Well, becoming his own man is what you said, but it's yet to be seen. Let's wait and see. That is for me. Then secondly, I was telling some people a few weeks back that in as much as Governor Fubara is acting like somebody who is not politically savvy in some of the actions he has taken and some of the things, statement and the rest of them, but it might also be a political strategy on his part. First and foremost, I had the feeling, I have the personal opinion that Governor Fubara was practically playing to see if he can secure his this thing at the Supreme Court. That is very strategic, because no matter how he played his politics, if at the end of it all, for whatever reason, he miss out at the Supreme Court, that is the end of his tenure. So he must have been strategic enough to be able to play along. That's my personal opinion. Until secure that, waiting for that. When you've cemented that, then they can start taking this action. Because you can see that there must have been some kind of convergence and some kind of agreement between him and the SY speaker of the 4 legislators that for him to resign. He did not only resign at the so-called speaker, he also resigned his membership of the State House of Assembly. So he was kept in waiting. And it's also known that the former chief of staff to the governor was handpicked by Nyesom Wike. So he is trying to take a bet. There was also a statement he made during the swearing-in of the former commissioners that were now being reappointed and said, "Don't give me trouble in my government." He stated it during their swearing-in. So what he's trying to do now is trying to solidify himself. I've said it time and time again that this is not the end of the matter in Rivers State. What we have seen is you're a student of literature, of which Jide is. This is what we call at 1 scene 2, at 1 scene 3, or at 1 scene 4. That may still be at 2 scene 1 as a bet. For now, everybody seems to be keeping his keg of power dry. Just for now. Yes, and just watching. But he is still sitting on top of a gun power, as powder as it is, because the legislative arm are fully in the hands of his godfather. And with that, whoever is in charge of that legislative hand can pull the string at any given point in time. But I hope this is not just the silence of the graveyard, as it seems. Some people have gone, don't forget that now we have 2 court judgments or pronouncement. There was one that did not recognize the new legislature. Then there was another one that also recognized, the one by the 6 elders. Now the judgment by a high court judge in Abuja, instituted by 6 elders in Rivers State. That court injunction still recognizes those 4 legislators. I think that should be a hand on, should be able to come together and just move Rivers State.
This is the most academic exercise. Yes. You recognize 4 people. So the arrowhead of that one. Yeah. Resigned and even resigned his membership. For you. That is judiciary for you. I'm telling you that there is 2 pronouncements by 2 different high court judges of the same jurisdiction. And it's very troublesome, and nothing has been done. And the agency is also watching. Yes, and that is recognizing the same high court, federal high court, and the agency is watching and not saying anything. Okay. It's going to be a very long drawn battle, because when you just say it's 2027, if that is the terminal date of this crisis, it's going to be a long time. And I'm afraid for governance in Rivers State, because Nyesom Wike was able to achieve what he achieved because he was able to, execute his project and everything. He didn't have so much of crises and people troubling him. Maybe he had to deal with, some along the line. But this one is as if it will stifle governance.
It all depends on the way the governor plays his game. The way it is now, he does not have control of the House of Assembly. He has to play along until he gets stronger. It will take some time for him to consolidate and take control. It all depends on the way he plays his game. There are some mistakes that he made You know, when we talk about these things, some people, because of their emotions, they're unable to see beyond,
objectively look at
beyond their nose, because they're already biased. In this matter of Rivers State, the biggest issue is the future of the local government chairman. That is what caused the conflict in the first place. They do not want the governor to handpick local government chairman, because once he handpicks local government chairman, effectively he has supplanted the structures that even put him in office. And that's why Wike kept saying, the ladder that you used to climb up, don't remove it. Those local government chairmen were the campaign coordinators for the governor in their respective local governments. That was the structure. That was the strategy that is used. You have to be more strategic than tactical in handling matters like this. Otherwise, you get your fingers burnt. The truth of the situation is, it is not Wike alone. When you take these kind of steps, like setting the assembly ablaze and doing all those things, it is not Wike alone that you are in battle with. There is the hand of the federal in it. Whether, if not, Tinubu will not go to the extent of getting involved and even being involved in drafting a resolution.
making the governor to sign.
Of course, he was part of the meeting. Why won't he sign? Once you come before a president, you should have ignored, you should have, you know, some people, when they don't want to see Obasanjo in those days, they will stay away, some governors, or send their deputies. But you showed up. So whatever decision is reached, you have to abide by it. And one of the resolutions was that he must not touch the local government chairman, because they knew all along that his first goal was to replace those people.
To whittle down.
Once you replace them, you put your own people in charge.
Oh, yes.
But their own argument was, these are the people who work for you. It's too early to send them packing. And if you must replace them, then let an election take place. Not to handpick the way all these governors are doing. Because it's wrong in the first place to even handpick local government. What the law says is that you should conduct elections. Once they come to the end of their term, let an election take place. If we let an election take place, that means you are abiding by the law. No one will say you have contravened the law. So I believe that all of those other conditions, the governor systematically will abide, because at this stage, he has no choice. He has not got the control of the House. And I don't think that, realistically speaking, if the case goes right up to even the apex court, I'm not convinced that the apex court will rule that 4 or 3 persons, because there are 3 now, they are not even up to 4.
27.
I don't think, we all know the way the way our courts work. It's not based on the law alone. And some of these decisions can be contradictory. When I saw the Supreme Court literally abusing the appeal court, I said, some of those things for which you are accusing them, you've also done that. You've given similar judgments in the past. If you are saying, oh, now if you are not a member of a party, you cannot challenge. What happened with Jegede? Jegede was not a part from APC now, but that matter got out to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled 4-3. You understand? So the point that I'm making is, no one is sure that the final court will say, oh, 3 persons go and run the House. Sometimes they will look at, can this thing work? And then decide. You look at the matter of Kano, for example. If you are to go strictly by the law, on-stand ballots cannot stand in an election. But they must have reasoned that this is the man who won the election.
Yes.
Whatever.
And politically, you want to throw this place.
And you look at even some of the other elections. House of Assembly, House of Rep, Senate, they dominated. So if you have to go, side the people that are looking in the direction of that man, that is the person who won the election. This is the way our court reason sometimes, not purely based on what the law says. If it was purely based on what the law says, Amechi would not have been governor. Because he didn't even ask the court to make him governor. He said, declare that I am the candidate of the party.
That was that time. All right. We'll take this breather. We'll be right back after this time out. Don't go away.
Every second, every minute, every hour, and every day, time doesn't just tick away. It counts down to political decisions that shape our world.
This country must move.
Imagine the impact these decisions have on our lives. Some are consequential, others may leave us intrigued or baffled.
You will have no better friend and partner than Nigeria.
Step in and feel the frenzy like never before. Join me every weekday for an hour of fact-finding interviews where questions cut to the core.
What does Tinubu has that other 17 candidates do not have?
I will dig in to get to the heart of issues, from local politics to global insight. Join me as I unearth the power plays, jaw-dropping revelations, and the unfiltered truth. This isn't just politics, it's unraveling the stories that matter. Brace yourself for Politics Tonight every weekday at 8 p.m., where every decision echoes along the corridors of our lives. Politics Tonight, only on TVC News.
Thank you for staying with us. CKN,
Yes.
that crisis, we just hope that if it's well managed, everybody will be able to go home and smiling. But I don't think the relationship between the governor and former Governor Wike can be the way it used to be.
Ayo, if I have my way, I want that case to get to the Supreme Court. Ask me why. We have to decide once and for all on issue on defection of members of the state houses of assembly and National Assembly. I believe and thought that that issue had been resolved by the Electoral Act and as well as the Constitution. And that is the feeling by so many people, that once you defect, there will be judgment to that effect, that once you defect from one political party, the party that brought that at the legislative arm, that you automatically, so it will be good.
What's that? What about that caveat that says if there's crisis?
Ayo. And that is to be, and it is also it's subject to interpretation. It's subject to, it's also subject to interpretation. Yes.
They bond their
House of Assembly.
their lives were
They went as far as talking about even their national secretary.
That is what I'm saying. It is also good for the Supreme Court to
that one,
that.
court will
You know,
resolve it.
so those are the issues fundamental, because if we don't try to straighten our democracy through the law court and get it, Biko said something about Kano State. At a point, everybody thought that Kano was gone. At the tribunal, and at the Court of Appeal. In fact, the APC had gone to repaint their state secretariat in Kano. Everybody was in wait. In fact, I don't know who, if they were supposed to be some, maybe pastors or whatever. I think that is the easiest prediction that anybody would have got. Just like we had the man from.
I knew they would not give.
You know that
I kept telling
because you saw that prophet in Cameroon that was prophesying that they were going to beat us 3-1. That one that went by. So, but what I'm saying in essence, it is good for us to be able to, because if we don't test this, it will still continue. Tomorrow we still
those
come back
guys see
to this thing.
my friend.
You know?
Politicians will not stop defecting.
Not.
Especially on the eve
matter of
of
interest,
the election.
convenience.
Every year, as we are approaching an election year, see the number of people who defect. Some will defect because they deny them tickets.
Yes.
All kinds of reasons. We can't even keep tabs with the people who are defecting to ensure that the law punishes them effectively. It's always a deluge of politicians defecting every year. We've not been able to.
What is the law say? That is me.
The law. You see, okay, even that law.
Is that what we said?
Even that law, I'm not happy with that law, because the law appears to only target lawmakers.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. The lawmakers.
Why? Because of what happened during the wet year. You know, the defection on the floor of the National Assembly at that time was what precipitated crisis. Yeah. People moving to rival party. Zeke's party and Awo's party, fierce rivalry between them. When you cross from this to this, it led to bad blood. So why should we limit it to the legislature?
All right. Not the executive.
Why not the executive, for example?
I totally agree with
so,
you.
and what I'm even saying is that no one is sure that even when it gets to Supreme Court, they will look strictly at the law in determining these things. Go back and look at the judgment, even of the appeal court and the Supreme Court in the Osun governorship.
Adeleke.
If anybody told you that those matters will be resolved in that manner, that the court will say, oh, that you cannot use only the
back-end server
to determine overvoting,
yes,
that you must use the manual register. Honestly, somebody told me I would have sworn that it will never happen. Because why did we are using technology? You had the, what was it called? The electronic accreditation module that we acquired. Everybody believed that it helped to make our elections credible. Because it's electronic in nature, you can determine how many people did accreditation. But the courts then ruled that it was not enough to use it, that you should use manual register.
That has been discussed.
And they use, because, look, there were like 4 issues. Each of those 4 issues was enough to send Adeleke packing.
All right. Okay, moving on now. As the Naira continues its free fall in the foreign exchange markets, the CBN, the Central Bank of Nigeria, is striving to halt the slide. The CBN has released $500 million in continuation of payment of foreign exchange liability backlog. The acting director of corporate communications at the Apex Bank, CD Ali, said the CBN has begun implementing a comprehensive strategy to improve liquidity in the foreign exchange market. Meanwhile, the Naira dropped to an all-time low against the dollar in the official market, exchanging for as low as 1,421 Naira per dollar. GD, Usain Bolt's world record of 9 sub 10 seconds. And what's the Naira and dollar, what they are doing now? I'm afraid.
Well, we just have to, I believe that this is a long battle. The gains, there are some moves that are being made that I know will improve liquidity. I don't think this will continue for so long. Don't forget, in January, the demand is usually high. Between December and January, people want to send children to school abroad and all that. They need these dollars. I've had people say, oh, maybe Benin Republic, they are not an exporting country. Why is it that they don't have this volatility in terms of their currency? The level of corruption in our country, the high level of corruption in our country is fueling the extreme demand for the dollar. People don't like it when we say these things, but it is the truth.
Small group of people.
It is the truth. People steal. People in our country, somebody can steal 44 billion. Somebody can refund 44 billion out of 109 billion. It's to the point that it was announced in open court that he had made that refund. A system that allows people to steal that much. How do you think they are going to secure the money? They are going to use dollars to secure the money. The other day, one of our analysts, I was walking him away after a show here, and he said somebody wanted to buy some property in Banana Island, and he was insisting on paying 10 billion in cash. Is that not crazy? 10 billion? You want to pay cash? 10 billion? Because he thinks that, okay, it is when he pays cash that they will not be able to trace him. You know, when you use the bank now, they will easily catch you because that movement.
10 billion.
They follow the trail. And I'm telling you. And I cannot deny that it's possible because somebody returned 44 billion now. Somebody whose duty it was to keep our money, to keep our money secure in this country. So the hunger for the naira, the dollar, one, it is unusual. It is not based on any business, economic this thing. A lot of it is fueled by corruption. When people steal, you see these governors, once they collect their allocation, and unfortunately now they are getting far more money than before. When they collect their allocation, they set aside like 25%. They are going to call their bureau de change people. We convert this to dollar. The rate at which we use the dollar in our country, the way we allow the dollar to be used in our country, I don't know any country in the world where that happens. Go to South Africa and attempt to buy anything with the dollar. There's no way you beg that attendant that he will answer you because he will think you want to send him to jail. It's what I did. The only place where you can use your dollar is in the duty-free shop as you are about to travel out. In South Africa, you can't use it. I saw a gospel CD that I felt, this is an opportunity. Let me buy this thing. But I had run out of their currency because I knew I won't be able to use it in Lagos. I was begging this guy. I begged him repeatedly, he refused. You can't change currency in South Africa unless you go to designated places, recognized bureau de change, where you can change it. Or all those places where they do gambling. You go there and then change officially. They will take your passport. In this country, nobody takes my passport. If I like, I go to what's this old hotel called over there? Airport Hotel. I go there, nobody asks for my passport, I change currency. I go to Island Avenue, nobody will collect my passport, I change. There's nowhere that the black market, the forex black market, is permitted to thrive like it is in Nigeria. I challenge people to tell me anywhere
I'll call my Malana, bring 1,000.
So we are the ones.
ID card.
That hunger for the dollar. You see a governor, people have come to visit him, or they want to give their harem of girlfriends money. It is dollars that they will bring and give. Nowhere else. We are disappointed. You have your own currency. How can you build confidence in your currency if you are behaving like that? It's just too much. So, but I'm not saying that, okay, this is purely the thing, but the CBN has not been funding the forex market the way it should, because they also want to clear this backlog. This backlog, if you don't clear it, nobody will come and do business.
Oh, the airlines.
Maybe our president went to UAE. People are telling us, the following week, Emirates will come back. How will they come back? What did you tell them about what you are owing them? Did you assure them that so time that you are going to pay? So you will not assure them that you are going to pay, and they will come here. We are owing those airlines more than $2 billion. So if we clear those things, it will help, and then we'll have sufficient money to to supply the market.
Mine is a governor is being tried by the EFCC now. The governor collected his security votes. When he collected his security votes in Naira, he went to his bureau de change. They changed it, and it amounted to 4 billion Naira, and they changed it to dollar, and they brought it back to him.
So that's what all of them are doing.
That's
the governor.
That's Nigeria for you. I just came back from AFCON, Ivory Coast, Abidjan, a few days ago. And the way we mutilate and use our currency, I didn't see that in other parts of West Africa here. And it baffles me that the CFA, which they use in Abidjan, is far stronger than the Naira. Of course. The CFA goes for about 600 to $1. The Nigerian dollar Naira is going 1,500 to $1. You can imagine the difference.
No, we don't get you.
No.
The CFA to Naira.
Yes, the CFA. That's CFA to dollar is 600.
600.
Yes.
600 CFA.
Yes, to $1.
Okay.
Ours is 1,450 to 1,500 to $1. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes,
good.
CFA is stronger than our
That is something that is very, very stronger.
Never used to be.
It used to be.
Yes,
Doesn't
so
used to
things are
Naira used to be. Naira
even
used to be stronger.
our farmers now, because they know they will earn more. You go to the north, you see Nigerian produce, farm produce being smuggled across.
Yes, across.
So that
they can earn more.
more.
Yes. That is for the SEPA. The SEPA I used to hear when I was in secondary school. That I say
They will say, you are a millionaire only
in SEPA. That was what they used to say.
If you go to
the public government, they will give you see the bundles of that. But it has reversed. This is just Cote d'Ivoire here. Now, but back to what we are saying. Why did they have most of the obvious? But the issue is that, let me also ask, of recent in August or September last year, the NNPC told us that it secured $3 billion.
Yes.
Which it was going to use from Afrexim Bank, which was going to use to stabilize the foreign exchange market. What has happened to that money?
The scale of the problem is bigger than.
I'm just asking. What has happened to that money?
I think
that is
also using part of what they are getting.
So that is the question. And secondly, for me also is that I think it's a high time. I think this was happening during the I don't know whether it was during military regime or what at one point where the central bank was publishing the names of companies that they gave dollars to. I gave you $1 million to purchase so. What was done with that one? What was it used? I think it's high time we start because the problem we are having, the way it is going, I never in my wildest dream ever believed that we can ever get to a point where $1 will equal to 1,000. I never ever believed. I'm telling you the truth.
Yes.
I'm telling you the gospel truth. When we are holding from 200 to 300. I remember that somebody said and went to 1,400, and he got a point.
But even in the official market, it has exceeded 1,000 6 times.
Over 6 times. First time in the history of Nigeria since 1960. Okay. So that is the issue for me. So what are we going to do to be able to arrest this? Is what I don't understand and what I don't know.
I think, let me just say in a nutshell, there are some steps being taken that they hope will help. For example, now the president just took a decision, a big decision.
The one of NNPC.
Yes. People are not talking about it. NNPC, remember the address that Sanusi made the other day, said, what is going on? Where is NNPC keeping the money? Where are the dollars? NNPC, what you have sold, where are the dollars? At that time, NNPC had the latitude to keep some of the money that it made from crude oil sales. They'll keep it in their account. But right now, they've told them, no, whatever you sell, it goes
to the central bank.
Central bank can have access to those funds that the NNPC used to warehouse. They can have access to it now and use it to trade foreign exchange market. I believe that will help us improve liquidity. There is also the decision, I think, which they are going to take to sell Nigerian crude within our country also in dollars. To sell crude to the IOCs and the rest of them, not in Naira, in dollars. There is no way all of those steps will increase liquidity. My only fear is that I fear the politicians so much. Now, if those dollars are coming in, the stealing will improve. When the stealing improves, they will still convert to dollar.
All right, and finally, the more issues are politicized, the more controversies they generate. The Supreme Court verdict of the 2023 Kano State governorship election comes to mind. Governor Abba Kida Yusuf has denied entering into any form of agreement with the presidency regarding the January 12 Supreme Court judgment, which affirmed his victory, reacting to a document circulating on the social media, which alleged that there was an agreement between the governor and the presidency. As spokesperson Sanusi Dawankin Tufa described it as an imaginary, place devoid of the truths. Jide, what's the meaning of this? What's going on?
No, after those governors survived the Supreme Court, on social media, people were saying, oh, they had a deal with Asiwaju to let them be in exchange for support for him in 2027. I saw posts like that, especially on Twitter. You know, people just have all kinds of ideas and they will write about it. Kwankwaso has denied. This governor too has been forced to deny that there was any deal with Asiwaju. In fact, Kwankwaso has declared that he's going to contest again, so that people will know that he has no deal with Tinubu. Normally, a president should not get involved in what the Supreme Court is doing. And if the Supreme Court, if the old men in the Supreme Court respect themselves, because I think in law now, they are all recognized as men. If the old men in the Supreme Court respect themselves, they will not be listening to politicians. Give us the judgment based on what the law says. Whether somebody is a president or not, he shouldn't be able to call you and tell you that, oh, give justice to the person who does not deserve it. I am amazed at the level at which we are going. People imagine that, oh, because Tinubu is APC, then any state that he wants his party to win, he can use the Supreme Court to collect that state. Is that democracy? How did we come to that situation that we imagine that a president will have such latitude that he can just pick a phone and call the CJN? CJN, I need that state. Do your best to give that state to me. I mean, that's not independent judiciary. That is not even democracy. So the president did what he had to do. He refused to get involved. Now, having refused to get involved, we are being told that, oh, he signed deals with these people that they should work for him. Why do we keep talking about 2027 when the government has not even spent 1 year in office? Why are we obsessed with 2027? In every conversation, 2027 comes in. The best way a government can halt itself and ensure that it is not focused on where it is going is to start thinking of re-election just after 6 months in office. You remember what even Ondume said the other day over the matter of just moving a few departments of the CBN to Lagos. He said it will have consequences for 2027. Why 2027 just coming in like that so early in the day? I mean, it makes no sense. The Supreme Court gave, in his view, the best verdict in the case of Kano State. The president didn't get involved, which is the right thing to do. So now people are saying that it's because he signed a deal. Which deal now? Where is the evidence that you have that he signed a deal?
So again, there's always this saying that if your party, the judgment favors you, it's a victory for democracy. And if the judgment goes the other way around, it will be as if, oh, this travesty of justice and this is not the Supreme Court. They're no longer independent and justices have been compromised. You hear all sorts of things from Nigeria.
Yes. Now
the Supreme Court, they are done with the 2023 election and governorship and presidential.
Yes. You know, Jide, I just listened to Jide and I just probably think that Jide doesn't seem to understand Nigerian politicians, quote and unquote. Because if you say that, how come that they get into office, they not stasis, Jide, once
about what is right.
No, that's why. No, that's what I'm just telling you. The Nigerian politician, the Nigerian politician, the day he's sworn in, the day he's sworn in, the man has started planning for the next election.
And that's why they failed.
That is why. They failed. The day that, in fact, there's this saying that for every 4 year term for a governor, he uses 1 year, 1.5 years to govern, and use 2.5 years to prepare for his next re-election. And that is why some people have been conversing that why don't we have just 5 years, one term, or 6 years? Just do and go. But that is for us a problem because they will not use that opportunity to knock amassed so much. Why do you see them? What they are doing now is why they stay little is that because they believe they come for a second term, they can finish up the job. But when you now give them a 6-year one, then you can say that. But back to the issue, that is not true. If you say that there was an agreement with the president, then the same thing could have happened in Plateau State. PDP came victorious at the Supreme Court. They did sign an agreement with the governor of Plateau State. They did sign an agreement with the governor of Abia State, who is of Labour Party, who also won at the Supreme Court. What of the governor of Bauchi State? I'm talking of the opposition. The governor of Bauchi State is, if you know the opposition in Bauchi State, the man that ran against the current governor was the former chief of staff. I forgot his name. Sadiq. Very, very thorough. The man was, in fact, in all aspects, he was really, really. But in fact, if you look at each of the governors, especially from the opposition, after the Supreme Court judgment, you see them, when you see the first statement they say, after thanking the judiciary, the next thing they say, we thank the president for not interfering. I listened to each, and those from the opposition, we need to thank the president, which probably means that, which all sense of unity is that, but probably in the past.
But the one that affected Mr. President himself was interfered.
Yes.
There was interference.
What I'm saying, that it doesn't mean that probably those before him have been interfering. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? But there is a new sheriff in town. The current president I've seen, and I'm watching, seems to have the democratic will to be able to carry things along. He's not the type that is ready to. He has shown capacity. He merely has been sworn in. He has not shown himself to be the president of APC. He has shown himself to be the father of the nation, irrespective. Which is why you see, even the governor, even other governors from others, when you see PDP governor, the next thing they're in Aso Rock. I saw the Bayelsa governor. Yes, Bayelsa governor. Udiri wasn't it? The one in Akwa Ibom, the one of Akwa Ibom. He was almost going in and out of Aso Rock as if the president is a PDP member. This was what happened in the past. So what I'm saying is that
but
we shouldn't discard
for everybody.
That is what I'm saying. The president is for everybody. He's the president, and they should open door. He has an open door. Let me even take it to him. The spokesman of Atiku Abubakar. Haven't you seen him?
In France.
Daniel Buala.
In France.
He visited the president.
Retired spokesman.
Retired. Whichever one.
Retired spokesman of Atiku.
Okay.
That's the designation.
But okay, the former spokesman.
By my own record.
Yeah, by your You saw him that last week he was with the president in Aso Rock. The man has gone back. He chased the man to
France.
And that's what the kind of person the president. And the man threw his door open and was taking picture, and the guy was posting on Twitter, and I was laughing. I said,
so the Muslim kind of politician is not correct.
You talk that one.
Oh, God.
It's Yoruba will say, Onebarambo labor. He's cooking something. He's cooking something. So, I think in the fullness of time, we'll see
the result. The result of that.
All this visit to the
it's not for nothing. From Abuja to Paris. If the man moves to London, he's going to join him there.
He has already said that
if he gives him,
he said if what he's saying will lead to his return to the APC, so be it, and he has no apology.
And that is also ready to serve his Nigerians in whatever capacity.
Adoption is no longer against.
No, he's a president for all. And the spokesman for Atiku can also be spokesman for the president.
Why
that
not?
Is what he's saying.
No, but today you've forgotten that. No, you've forgotten something. This guy was the spokesman of the president. The president at the campaign when Buhari was one of the spokespersons of the presidential candidate of APC before he now decamped.
Oh,
after the vice president was announced.
There are many people who felt that he shouldn't have been Muslim, and some of them, the source of the
said his faith, everything is against it, and everything. Now his faith is aligned with
it. Yes, his faith is not longer.
It's not longer a factor. I want to thank you, Sikia.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. May God help this our feet.
Yes. At the end of the day, a man thinks more about himself than the people in his bandits.
Survivor.
So I don't blame him. If he succeeds, that means his efforts are justified.
All right. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 p.m. And join us this Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzubakum. God bless Nigeria.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. ShopX TV has brought you the latest innovations in lifestyle, fitness, and cooking from across the globe. And now, we are proud to introduce to you a game changer for your home security.